Hi there, Cody here with Doing Japanese. And this is really useful Japanese phrases. Number one, 何かおすすめはありますか? So just before I start this, I want to point out that today is Sunday and it's been pretty noisy outside my flat all day. I mean, just a minute ago there was a group of kids singing and shouting and skipping or something. I'm not too sure what they were doing, but they were noisy anyway. And there's been cars going past like every 5 seconds all day. I'm not gonna bother to edit these sounds out, so yeah, sorry about that, but whatever. So, when I first came to Japan, I basically understood little to no Japanese. Well, actually, little would be an overstatement. I couldn't understand anything, and I couldn't read at all. And this can make feeding yourself a bit of a problem. Now, if you go to slightly upper range restaurants or family restaurants, this is not really a problem. But personally, I don't like those places much, and I prefer the kind of local hole-in-the-wall places where menus are written in totally illegible scrawl, and nobody speaks English or even wants to try. So, here's a phrase that totally saved my life, and that I still use whenever I eat out. 何かおすすめはありますか? Is there anything you recommend? So I still ask this everywhere I go when I eat out, just because. Well, one, it gives me some good speaking practice. Now, if you read a guidebook about Japan or something like that, they'll probably recommend that you just point to the picture in a menu, or even worse, you take the waiter outside and point to one of those stupid wax food models that they always have in the windows. And, well, yeah, I guess this is great if you're kind of, a tourist and you're only here for 2 days and you absolutely couldn't care less about learning Japanese. But if you have any interest whatsoever in speaking to people in Japanese or learning Japanese, then, well, this is such a waste of time, it's such a waste of an opportunity. So when you ask a waiter or a waitress, 何かおすすめはありますか? You're basically forcing them into a kind of short, simple conversation. It's really great speaking practice because, they have to answer you with something. And they'll probably ask you kind of what sort of food you like, and then you'll have to answer that. And then they'll recommend something, and then you'll have to answer that as well. And it's a very short, simple kind of conversation, but it is a conversation in Japanese, and it is really great speaking practice. So don't waste that opportunity. And two, doing this, I've been recommended some really great things, which I either hadn't heard of or wouldn't normally have ordered. And, well, yeah, of course, some places will just recommend the most expensive thing on the menu. And some other people will just kind of, recommend anything which they think a foreigner might like, just to play it safe. But some people will have something on the menu which they really love, and that they really want you to try. And they'll kind of go out of their way to recommend that to you. And if they do that, definitely try it, because I've had some things recommended to me and I've been like, yeah, really? Really that? And I've gone ahead and ordered it and it's been amazing. Like, I've gotten some things that I would never normally order or even think of ordering. So yeah, it's a great way to try new things. So another similar phrase that I've also used, this time in bookshops, is 何かおすすめの本はありますか? Is there a book you recommend? Now, this is a really great thing to ask the staff in Japanese bookshops. And, well, yeah, sometimes they look at you, you're a little bit crazy. I mean, and it's not something you'd normally ask, right? I mean, I've never asked anybody this in the UK. But if you're learning Japanese, you probably don't have an extensive knowledge of what's popular in Japan. Or at least I don't. I've lived in Japan for like 6 years now, and I have no idea what novels are popular or anything like that. So, yeah, plus, even if you don't buy the book, it's really great speaking practice, just as I said before. And I guess unlike food, this is a little bit hit and miss. I've asked this and I've been recommended books and I've bought it and I've taken it home and read it and I thought, wow, this is absolute crap. What a waste of money and time. But I've also been recommended some really, really, really great books. And a good example is this one you can see here on the right, which is Himitsu by Higashino Keigo. And this is a novel written for Japanese people, but all things considered, it's kind of fairly easy to read for people learning Japanese. And yeah, it's one of the best books I've ever read. I absolutely loved it. And it was recommended to me by the staff in, where was it? Maybe Kinokuniya in Shinjuku Southern Terrace. I can't remember, but whatever. And of course, you don't have to ask this to the people working in shops. You can, just ask your friends or something. But yeah, it's a great phrase to use. 何かおすすめの本はありますか? So here is a couple of sentences that I dug up from Google. And I've just copy-pasted these as they are, so I can make absolutely no guarantee to how good the Japanese is. So yeah, if it's rubbish Japanese, then don't blame me. Blame the people who wrote them on their web pages. 何かおすすめの休日の過ごし方はありますか? Is there some way to spend days off that you recommend? Yeah, I guess this could be quite useful, actually. I mean, you're living in Japan, you don't know anybody, you don't know what to do on your day off, so yeah, go and ask the old lady who lives next door. 何かおすすめの休日の過ごし方はありますか? And maybe they'll recommend some really great way to spend your day. Anybody living in Japan, or even anybody not living in Japan, if you have any recommendations for ways for me to spend my days off, yeah, please leave a comment, because I spend almost every day off just sleeping all day. Next. 何かおすすめのオプションはありますか? Is there an option you recommend? This could also be pretty useful, I guess. For example, in a mobile phone shop where they have, lots of plans and you have no idea which one to choose, you can just ask them, 何かおすすめのオプションはありますか? You might notice in this sentence that おすすめ is written in hiragana, unlike the ones that I wrote myself where I used kanji. And both is okay. This is one of those words which some people write in kanji, some people write in hiragana, whichever. Yeah. Next. 秋の寒さ対策でおすすめは何かありますか? Now this one I guess is a little bit strange to be honest, and I have never said this and I have never heard anybody say it, but I thought it was kind of interesting, so I copy-pasted it. 秋の寒さ対策でおすすめは何かありますか? Is there some way to fight off the autumn cold that you recommend? Yeah, I'm not too sure when or why you might use that, to be honest, but well, actually, I don't know, because right now in Tokyo it is so bloody cold, so maybe I could go and ask somebody this. 秋の寒さ対策でおすすめは何かありますか? And yeah, if you do have a good way to fight off the autumn cold that you recommend, please leave me a comment. じゃあ、それでは以上です。What do you think of today's lesson? Please let me know in the comments. And also, if you've got any related phrases of your own, please share them, because I am still learning Japanese, as are any of the people who will be watching this video, or at least I assume the people who might be watching this video are learning Japanese. If you have any good phrases of your own, put them in the comments, let everyone benefit. Okay, so that is it for today. See you in the next lesson.